Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
You know, when I'm knowing what we're going to talk about for the day, I was going to say, no, they didn't. Y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Oh, no, girl, yes. We are here yet another week. How's it going for you, girl?
It's going pretty good. I'm looking forward to the fall.
I am too. I'm ready for the fall. I feel like the summer has been unseasonably and unreasonably hot. As you can see, my afro is like, when is fall coming? So we just decided to stop trying to fight it and just say, let's just throw it out for a few days. Also, I've been trying to work out. So
yeah,
this is what we're doing. There's that too. But we have been having an interesting summer. We're moving into fall. Hope you had a great holiday, safe holiday. Hopefully you are finding some peace in this world that is just going crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously you can still follow us, YouTube, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so you know when a new episode has dropped. And don't forget, Patreon is our behind the scenes little family where we be talking about some other stuff with a little bit more detail. And you get to comment on our real lives and be like, girl, you being stupid. And we're like, okay, fine, whatever. But today's topic is we feel like we've been lied to.
Girl.
Bamboozled, led astray, ran amok.
You heifers lying out there.
You heifers is lying. Well, you know what? And it's not even that they're lying. They're lying by omission. Lying by omission.
Which is still a lie. That's still a lie to me.
It's a lie. So we have beef with women in relationships. So be clear who we have beef with this week. So what we have come to realize is when we see you guys getting married, we see you in a long-term relationship, we see you getting engaged, we see you with your bae, you on vacation, you y'all in matching pajamas on the Christmas. I mean, we just be seeing y'all living the dream. And we know just because you got a relationship don't mean your life is perfect. Just like if you single don't mean your life is horrible, and vice versa. It's pluses and minuses to every situation. Depends on what's going on in your life. Okay.
Correct.
Now we love being single. However, we want to be in a relationship. We think.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. Well, this is why we are struggling with. We talk about being single. We talk about dating. We talk about trying to find one. We only need one. And then we might get one for a few minutes. And we'd be like, is this what we was trying to do?
I want to throw them back.
I don't really think one. And they be fine. There don't necessarily be nothing wrong with them. It's just they be there. So help us through a few things, ladies with men. This is, if you got a man, you need to comment and help us through this because we feel like y'all been lying to us and not telling us the truth about a real situation. So when we go out with men, we can't even get to the go out with men part because we very rarely get to the go out with men part of the conversation. It's usually some long, drawn out reason why we haven't even gone on the first date. Okay. All right. So ladies with men, husbands, boyfriends, significant others. Do you like him? That's the first question. Do you like him? Now, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It was a thread going on Twitter that men don't work on being likable. You know what I'm saying? They don't really strive to be likable. I don't think they even think about being liked. They know they are a hot commodity because they're a man. So they really don't do too much to be likable. So that's number one, ladies with men. Do you like your man? I know you love him, maybe, but do you like him? Question number two. How is he with emotions and conversations about emotions? Because when we're out here dating, we find that all these men are emotionally unavailable. Okay, we can't have a conversation about this. We can't move past this. Okay, he got his feelings hurt this day. He got divorced. He's heard about these men y'all are with. Are they emotionally available? Because I'm going to call bull and say they are not. And y'all got us out here thinking that y'all just left all the bad ones out here, but you just got a man. And that's just what they are. They're not well trained in communicating about emotions. What do you think?
Right. No, I agree because it's always in hindsight when I'm talking to a married friend or a friend in a long-term relationship and I may be talking about a situation I'm in and I'm like, well, and he just didn't do this. And they're like, oh, well, that's just what men do.
Oh, well, girl, wait a minute. Right. They're just like, oh, girl, yeah, no, he ain't gonna do that. And you're like, what?
That's aggravating to me because like, you may have approached that situation differently had you had that information.
Or expectations,
beforehand. Maybe. Yes.
And we will willingly admit our expectations might be 1,000% skewed on what a relationship looks like.
For sure.
100%.
But it's like, and it's funny because I can see how warped my brain is when it comes to relationships. I can see it, but when you're actually acting it out, it's like you still get in that comfort zone. Like I've been watching Married at First Sight. Y'all know I watch that show every year. And I can see my crazy in all those women. Never been in a relationship. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna try it this way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, you can't do that. You're not single anymore. You can't do that. I can see it.
Right. So you can see it on somebody else and you can identify and say, you know what, I think I do that. But when you're in the midst of doing it, crazy has no reflection.
It doesn't.
It don't register that you're doing the crazy thing.
Exactly.
I agree. I just noticed a date behind me says, I think like July 18th. Y'all just keep it moving, okay? But it's interesting because when I talk to other people about their situations, even my friends who are in relationships, I can see how she's wrong. You know, my girlfriend, girl, no, you shouldn't have said, girl, you shouldn't have done. Now, when I'm in the situation, like you said, I can see after the fact, like one of the things that I have done in previous relationships that now after the fact, I can see how it probably wasn't great. I'm someone who wants to nurture and care for someone. And I have dated men my age and older who may have had some health issues. I don't have no problem buying somebody a pill organizer because they need to take their blood pressure medication. In hindsight, I can see how that might bring your virility into question. I can see how that might make you seem a little weak. I can see how it make you seem a little frail and a little less masculine and manly. And so when you talking to the girl at the bar who don't know you on blood pressure medication, you can have a different swag with her than you do with me. You got fibromyalgia, I'm buying you a foam roller and a mat so you can stretch and work the pain and muscles out. I realize in hindsight, I was not adding to that man's sense of manliness by trying to help nurture their ailments.
I think it's all about timing too on those things as well. But when you're trying to meet someone or you're meeting someone and you're trying to get to know them and they're trying to get you to know them and stuff like that, they don't want to present that vulnerability all the way up front. They want to show that manly man, you know, who's takes care of himself and, you know, doesn't really need to be dependent on anybody or, you know, I don't have frailties for real. You want to present your best self. And so once you expose that by buying him blood pressure pill boxes.
I did. No, and I can look back and say, okay, I thought I was being nurturing and caring. He wasn't taking his medication on time. I got him a little pill organizer. I can look back and say, that might not be this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. In hindsight, right? But it's one of those things where when you're in the moment, crazy has no reflection. You're doing what you think makes sense. And it might even be 10 minutes later, you can see how you could have done it differently.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of our girlfriends who are married and in relationships don't really share with single women. And not even our girlfriends, society tries to frame it as single women are missing out on something. Single women are the ones that have just been, you're going to die alone. You've been cast aside. That's what's wrong with you. You too independent, all this stuff. Are y'all okay in your relationship? Like, it's not even, are you happy or you fulfilled? Are you aggravated? Are you annoyed most of the time? Because, you know, I always go back to like the sitcoms. Any sitcom where there's a man-woman dynamic, the man is falling short in ways that really ain't funny in real life. He forgot the anniversary, or he bought you a vacuum cleaner for your anniversary. He forgot your birthday. He's sneaking out with his friends. He ain't where he said he was going to be. He spent money y'all saved up for this and spent it on that. Like every episode of a sitcom where there's a relationship, the man is somewhere on some foolie wang. And then at the last part, we're like, we still love you, George and Wheezy. I always talk about having the strength of Wheezy Jefferson. And our friends don't really, it's not about telling us their business, but I think it doesn't manage the expectations, because when we're out here dating these guys and they do that, it's not funny. And the sitcom don't even make it to the end. We don't get past the first commercial break. So we're like, oh no.
Right.
And then when we tell our friends who are in relationships, they really are looking at us like we're wrong.
So I wonder if it's like one of those things where it's like, you have to experience it on your own. Is that what women in relationships are looking at single women like? It's just something you have to experience on your own. A lot of times, you know, our parents will let us go through something. They won't warn us about it just to, I don't know. I don't know.
And
I don't know.
it's so individual, right? Because it's still going to be different case by case relationship.
Right. It's not going to be the same issues.
Right. Your temperament is different than their temperament. Your tolerance is different. You know, the guys are different. So I don't know. Is it not a way that they could communicate?
Because I feel like married women, people in relationships, like churches, a lot of times they'll have all these marriage retreats and things of that nature. It's like you've already been in a relationship, but what about people who are preparing to be in relationships? Where's that help coming from? Where's that guidance coming from?
Right. That's the help we're missing, because our expectations of an emotionally available man might be very, very overrated and unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because you have a man doesn't mean he was emotionally available. It just means y'all learned how to communicate what y'all need to communicate with each other.
Right.
You know, we can use the example of communication styles, right? So I'm dating somebody who calls, but when he calls, it's really just kind of like a check-in. This is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Okay, I'll talk to you later. But if he sends text messages or even voice text, I feel like he actually communicates more information through voice text than our phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had to say, instead of me being so, hey, you need to call me all the time, I need to just be happy that he's communicating and how he feels comfortable communicating, and I get more information that way.
Right.
I feel like so much of it is we get hung up on how we think it should be or how we assume it should be. You know, like the calling thing. Both of us will admit, you and I, we don't talk every day. And if we go 3-4 days without talking, we don't think there's a problem between us. We don't think one is mad at the other. We don't think one has an attitude. We're not even thinking about it like that. It might be, oh, I ain't talked to you in a few days. What's up? Kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We don't do that when we're dating somebody. It's okay. It's been 3-4 days and I ain't heard from you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say to him? Not really. Were you looking for him to tell you or give you some? Not necessarily. Why is it so different with this new person? They're new to us, and we have long-time friendships and family relationships that we don't make that requirement, right? So we've talked about that before. Yeah. So are we hung up on, well, he hadn't called me in a week?
Yes and no. I mean, I see it on both sides. I see, maybe a week is a little long. You threw me off with that. Like a few days is like, oh, okay, I didn't hear from him a few days. But a week feels long to me.
No, it does feel long. But if you haven't talked to one of your longtime friends in a week, I don't think none of it.
Yeah. But you're talking about somebody you're going to be in a relationship with and possibly marry one day that you're going to be around all the time. So I don't see a problem with expecting
to hear. Yeah, but you know what? But that's also part of it. It's folks who are in relationships, are married, live in the same house, don't necessarily talk to each other every day.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want that type of relationship.
But I don't even think that it means there's something wrong. It might just be and going.
It's to each his own.
Yeah, we didn't sit down and have a full-blown conversation. It's like, hey, you got that? Hey, I'm moving, okay, I'll see you later. Mm-hmm. It might be a week and some change go by that because of y'all schedules or whatever. Y'all know the other one's there, but y'all like sat down and just, checked in and be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Kind of thing. I know another probably unrealistic expectation I have in dating is if we together. We ain't doing nothing else right now. We doing whatever we doing together. That means you ain't on the phone. It means you ain't texting nobody. It means you ain't doing nothing else. It's me and you. Now, I can see in hindsight how that might be like, okay, we here, but we ain't got to be consuming each other's air every second. And I don't think in the moment that I'm looking at somebody do something other than me, that I'm thinking that. But I'm that way with anybody that's in my space, not just a romantic situation.
Right. I'm not if you made plans to be with someone, then you be intentional about being with them in that moment.
Right.
And I mean, especially if, like in your case, if you're dating someone who doesn't live in the same state, so you would think you would be extra intentional. And that's the thing. And so, but I think guys are a little simple in that, where they don't think about stuff like that. It's just like, I'm here. I'm by you.
That's so exactly what
if I'm on my phone. If I'm on my phone, it's not a big deal.
It was not a big deal.
I'm sitting right here next to you.
Right. He lives out of town in another state. It's a big deal. This is your last night in town. And he took a phone call. It was a personal call. It was a woman, but I don't think it was like nothing like that. He sat there and had the conversation in front of me. And he actually did the math of what was that 20-minute phone call out of the 48 hours he was with me. that pissed me off to such a different level. You know, we had this huge argument about it. In hindsight, I still would have felt that was rude. If me and you were somewhere together and you sat there and talked on the phone for 20 minutes, I would have an attitude with you too.
Right.
You know this.
Right.
You know, I have lost friendships because somebody has taken my time that I'm offering them and they chose to be on the phone to do something else. I just think that's rude across the board. But I think there is a dynamic there that is not necessarily communicated, and there's no way to know it until you're in that situation, because there's no way for a married woman or a woman in a relationship to tell a single woman, hey girl, once you get a man, don't be trying to be around him.
So why are we saying they lie to us then? Let's lay that out there.
Lying by omission. Okay. You know, for what? Why is it if we don't have a man or we go through a breakup, we think we get this energy? Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We about to work on this. I'm about to be self-centered. I'm gonna do this. Why are we not like that in the relationship? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is about it, because it's not like we sit there with that man 24/7, but it's something about him not even being a thought. Refocus our energies on us completely.
It's almost as if we feel like we can only concentrate on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Like either I'm going to focus on this relationship or I'm going to focus on myself. And
focusing on that relationship means, no, I'm not going to work out today because I'm in a relationship. When I'm not in a relationship or I go through a breakup or another situation of a trash man, it's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm about to drink this water. I'm going to give me a good night's sleep. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to read my book. I'm going to write my book. I'm about to get my life together. But if I'm dating somebody, that's not a thought. It's not even a thought. And it ain't because I'm somewhere with them doing nothing. Like, I just ain't thinking about me in those terms. So that's number one. I think we tend to lose ourselves when we're dating someone. For whatever
we can't fault women in relationships for that.
We can and we can't. They could tell us. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. The only ones that would probably tell us that are the ones that are divorced. We'll say, girl, don't lose yourself. Now the ones that's in it, they don't see it. They can't see it in the mirror. And there's a certain level of sacrifice and compromise, especially if you have kids, whatever. There's just a certain level that you're not going to be able to be focused on yourself. And that's why you do see women glow up when the kids go off to college or they get divorced, you know, because that's just an impossibility. But as single women without children, I don't know why we kind of just give all of our energy and thought to, okay, I'm dating someone. And that's 24/7 is, okay, I'm dating someone. And
you know why? I think why I tend to do that is not like, okay, I'm dating someone. It's like I've accomplished something that I've wanted to do, and so now I'm going to rest on that.
And what was the thing you wanted to do that you accomplished?
Be in a relationship. Being in a relationship with someone that I actually like, who likes me. Oh, well, I'm good. I mean, I've done life's duty for the day.
I feel what you're saying. Like I have.
That is my approach. It's not that
I don't normally do. And I've done that. And so I don't have anything else.
Yes. Because we're driven women who want to accomplish things, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's an accomplishment when I met someone, I like them. And it's not like a lazy thing. It's just like, oh, you did that, girl. Sit down.
Hey, but what's so funny is it is such an accomplishment to meet somebody and like them.
And have them like you. Baby.
Right. Let's just have a pause. I don't think y'all realize. Woo. That's saying something.
It is.
You know how much energy it takes to even meet someone, make yourself available to be liked, let alone hopeful that you could like. And when you do, don't ask me to go for no run today. I like somebody today. I did all I could do. That's a really good point. We only have so much energy to use in a day. And if I'm dating somebody, I've used 85% of it and still liking them today.
And if you can go to bed without being angry, without being upset, you have done your job for the day.
I'm still dating that guy.
I still like him at the end of the day.
We made it.
Pat myself on the back. Go get a margarita.
I didn't take out the trash. I didn't make up my bed. I didn't fold up that laundry. I didn't mop the floor. I didn't wash the dogs. I didn't do none of my work. But I still like that man as I lay my head.
But once you fail, And when I say fail, I mean, once that thing goes to dust and you're no longer interested in that person, it's a failure. So now I need to find a win.
And then you start winning at life again. And that is now the science. We probably need to bottle up this theory because the glow up is always real for women. We were talking about all the different movies, the love movies, and it's the man and woman, they're in love, but both of them or one of them is not saying what they need to say. They split up and the woman has the glow up. She's now the CEO. She's now the president. She wrote that book. She's doing her thing. And then that man comes back at some point, they reconnect and the woman is like, why didn't you say something? Because in her mind, I was trying to be successful at that and you made me go be successful at my life. And I was trying to be successful with you. And I can only do one or two things. Because you didn't say that you loved me and you wanted me to stay. I had to go be a success. You should have said something. I would have been here trying to be with you. Mm-hmm. And we feel that all the time. Now that you said that the energy, so that's going to help me. So in my dating, so y'all know I'm always dating someone or not dating someone. I will say, I would like a prize for the fact that I am the active dater out of the group. Now I am the older one and I am the more focused one because I've been having a really great time my whole life. And I really would like a partner for the second half.
Right.
So I'm more intentional about it and I'm more active in it because I'm 10 years ahead in the game. Okay. So because when I do these podcasts, I'm usually talking about somebody different. If I say I'm dating somebody, if y'all say, oh yeah, she's been dating that guy, it's probably somebody different than the last time I mentioned that. Right. Okay. It ain't the same one because I'm trying again. But every time I do try to date somebody, it does take up a lot of my energy and time, and not because I'm with them. It really is brain capacity. It really is thinking about, and I don't know what it is, and it's got to stop because I think that then puts too much of the onus on that person, on that guy, to be less horrible. Right? Because you are the win. All my other wins I didn't put on the shelf. I ain't got to do that no more because I'm winning at you. And so when they do, it could be something big, but it could be something little. It's going to set you off in a way of, no, don't mess this up. The other thing for men that are dating me and women my age probably, and I've recently come to this in the last week or two. We've had some conversations offline about dating and relationships. Probably an unfair pressure that most of the men I date and probably women my age, most of the men they date, this unfair pressure they probably have on them is every time we meet somebody, we say, this is the last one.
I ain't doing this no more.
So now when he just coming along to my, hey, what's up, WID? We like, no, boo. This is you it. So I'm gonna need you to come with it. I'm gonna need you to do more better. And so now it's like, okay, I just said this is it. This is the last one. This is him. Not because we know it's him. It's just because we ain't doing it no more. This is it. I need you to call me. I need you to do these things. And they're like, well, what? So I'm not saying we aggressive. We're not like, hey, you got to marry me. But internally, our energy is, I really need this to work. I really need this to work because I really don't want to do this again.
Right.
We just did an episode about you don't want it out there. Like that ain't where you want to be. It's not out there. Trying to like somebody, hoping somebody like you back. Right. And you'll be on the same page on the same day. Because it's still so many variables. It's not just, oh, well, get out and meet people. It's you actually got to meet somebody you have a connection with, someone you like, someone you're interested in, someone you're attracted to. And then they got to feel the same about you. And then y'all got to keep trying every day to maintain that. I ain't got time to make my bed with all that going on. It's not gonna happen. But let that man show his butt, and I know how to break up, and I know how to, I will survive. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put on all my breakup music, all my Jasmine Sullivan and everything else, Lemonade, and I'm gonna be glowed up. Girl, you shining, you glowing. Girl, just trying to get my life together, just focusing on me.
So easy, right?
It's so easy. So I'm going to challenge myself in this current situation who better be my last. And again, y'all, everyone I date better be my last. This one better be my last. Now, the reason why this one is going to, and we'll talk about it in future episodes, probably, maybe. With this particular one of the challenges that we discussed is we're used to it not working out. We're used to dating someone for a certain amount of time. We're used to men then kind of just drifting away, or something happens and it falls apart. The challenge, or not even a challenge, I'm not going to say a challenge. The issue with this one is he does not seem like he's going to be that quick to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's challenging because I don't know what to do now. Now, we always talk about how the men are emotionally unavailable and they got about 6 to 8 weeks before they're going to ghost you. We are realizing we don't know how much further to go our damn selves.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that on Patreon this week, too.
We're going to talk about it on Patreon. So if you want to sign up for Patreon, we're going to talk about once they say, I'm sorry.
Then what?
Do I have to keep talking to him? I had already written up my latest business plan for next week because he hadn't said he was sorry yet.
Yeah. Got a proposal to turn in Monday.
So now wait, so we're gonna talk about that on Patreon this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's one of those things that I think there's no way for a married or betrothed woman to tell us these little intangibles, these little things, these little unspoken things that when you get in that situation, you're like, well, ain't nobody tell me this. Or no one ever communicated. But like I said, they over communicated in the movies and TVs. We laugh about it. But we out here throwing all these trash men back because they're like, they not emotionally available. They not trying to do nothing. And it's like, oh girl, your husband won't say I love you. Girl, no, my husband ain't never said thank you. What? You know, when we talk to our married friends and we'll say, girl, he didn't text me happy birthday. Girl, and you mad about that?
I think it's because they be having real problems. They
be having real problems. And that's what I'm saying. Lying by omission, they don't be telling us. So we sit up here thinking these men are just horrible and they left these horrible men out here and they got all the good ones. No, they didn't. They just made it work. So we got to reformulate our plan because I don't think we've thrown back one that we should not have thrown back, but our expectations maybe have been overinflated of what we are actually hoping to get.
Right. Correct.
I think by default, if it's a man, he ain't gonna be talking to you about your feelings, not in the way you want him to. Not for real. I have found so far in my experience of very active dating, usually if a man seems like he's emotionally available, he usually uses certain terminologies and certain words like vulnerability or broken or healing to manipulate you more so than actually being honestly in that space. But yeah, that emotional bandwidth and emotional intelligence is like minus 400. And again, turn on TV, Archie Bunker, Everybody Loves Raymond, Queen of Kings, King of Queens, you know, all the shows, the husband is emotionally stalled compared to the woman. Why do you think of that? Well, you didn't think I would want, no, I thought you wouldn't mind if I went out with the guys on our anniversary. I didn't even think about it. You're like, what? So we feel like I've been lying by omission. If anybody would like to comment and tell us how to manage our expectations of dating a man, marrying a man, help us. Because we've been struggling and we might have missed our dream guy just because we thought he was supposed to have some sense. And your man ain't got no sense either. And you didn't tell us that he didn't have no sense. You thought he did because he was your man. And now we starting to learn better. Let us know. Send us a comment, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, join Patreon because you're going to hear the details about the now what. Do we have to stay together? Because I wasn't planning on it. I was planning on getting my life together next week. All right. I guess like I said, is no, they didn't, but we'll keep it here. Oh, no, he didn't.
Earl, yes, he did.